run through. I'm not trying to speed run. Just mainly. And maybe I won't look like a total bonehead. Alright, keep it on normal. Gonna give us a few more lives. Hopefully we don't need them, but who knows. There's Cookie. Move, girl. So you standard whip, sub weapons. Then you also have Eric McCard. He's a little different. I'm going to play with him today. He has a spear, which, you know, for this time was different than a whip, because I think every Castlevania game before this one, the main character all had whips, I'm pretty sure. So it was kind of cool to be able to play with a character that uses something other than a standard Belmont whip. And this game takes place mostly outside of Dracula's castle, which was also something different for this game, or for this series. But classic opening, you have to love it, right? Alright, here we go. Shake out the carpal tunnel for about half a second there before I started. And just like Jonathan, you know, you get upgrades, your spear gets, you know, bigger and longer. You know, insert joke here. Oh, how did that hit me? This one, you can jump off the stairs, as you see there, which is also a plus, because usually these stairs in Castlevania games get you hung up for a while. Now, Eric has an ability where if you hold the down button, and then press jump, you can do that. And that's the equivalent of the flame whip. You got a flaming spear tip. But Eric can also do this. If you stab above you and rotate the directional button to the left or the right, he'll do a spin move with a spear. And you can kind of keep doing it backwards and forwards, left, right, and it's not a very strong maneuver, but if you're in a situation where you've got bats or Medusa heads, it works very well against them. But otherwise, I haven't really found much else used for it. But as we all know, Medusa heads in this game, like every Castlevania game, they're the freaking devil. Alright, so we're getting close to the stage 1 midway boss. The candles, with just one candle to them, they're all special weapons. And if you have the special weapon for the flame spear and you pick up another weapon, you're not gonna have this. You're just gonna have the basic sub weapon, whatever that is. And I like that ability right there. It uses up, you know, a few more hearts, but it is effective, as you can see. Does a lot of damage. And I still have, well, they're not hearts in this game. I guess they're crystals or jewels. But I don't have a whole lot, so I need to, I guess, add a few, but this first stage isn't too tough. I can pretty well get through it with just a spear if I have to. And the walls kind of let you know, see how it's kind of cracked there? They kind of let you know that there's something there. And there's a lot of that hidden wall stuff, you know, mostly all health, I believe. There might be a 1-up in there maybe somewhere, but it seems like most of them are health. Oh, and one hit, by the way, will cause you to lose your flame, your flame if you have a whip or a spear, whichever version, but you get touched one time, it's gone. And pretty much the entire way with this game, like, you don't see me switch my weapon very often, because in this game the axe is, you know, has a lot more power to it. It causes a lot more damage than the holy water and the boomerang. The holy water, I mean, it's almost OP, and it is. I mean, it's one of the stronger weapons in the game if you know how to use it right. This game, however, the holy water, I don't think of any time where I purposely went and got that sub weapon because it's not as useful to me. You know, the boomerang's okay. You know, it doesn't cover the whole screen like it does in the earlier installments. But it's effective. You know, it's pretty good. Definitely better than the holy water. But my go-to sub weapon in this game is definitely going to be the axe. It seems like this game too, as far as like the skeletons go, it seems like they have about 10 to 15 different versions of them. There's a lot of different kinds of skeletons it seems like you have to play against in this game. Up here, you want to try to get this candle if you can and someone up. It's not hard. As long as you just keep pushing right, you shouldn't have no trouble there. There's no difficult jumps or anything chasing you. You just got to be ahead of it. And as long as you keep pressing right there, you're good. And I freaked out when I first got to this boss the first time when I was a kid. Because I was like, wow, this is just like going into Dracula, other than the moving, you know, walking to the right part. But otherwise, it looks just like, you know, you're going to the throne room to go fight Dracula. I'm going to keep my axe here. And this guy's pretty easy. One of the cool aspects is you can hear him marching in, you know, with all that armor and stuff on. But the more you hit him, he starts shedding parts of that armor, which is kind of cool. But it also changes his fight pattern as well. So I kind of liked how this game had that. There was a couple bosses where the more you hit them, their physical appearance would change. And, you know, that was something that was kind of new, you know, for this series for the most part. There wasn't a lot of that before, but it was pretty cool the way they did it here. So, like, he's down to no arms, just 2 legs. He's an easy boss. Just stay away from him and hit him back and forth, and he'll be toast pretty quickly like that. He never even touched me. Alright, stage 1 complete. Right off the bat, the graphics in this stage, the cool ass reflection, you know, of you and the water, just everything else, and how it's moving with the waters, I thought was amazing back in the day. And even to this day, it holds up well. I mean, it's amazing that a game from '94, I believe, is when this come out. You know, over 25 years later, has, you know, graphics that looks really, really nice. You know, holds up well after all these years, in my opinion. I mean, sure, there's a lot nicer stuff now, but that was cool. I got my flame weapon back, which is great. Although this stage isn't terribly difficult, there's a spot here and there, but otherwise it's pretty easy. Rarely do I have trouble here. I mean, everything's pretty straightforward, nothing too drastic. There's an extra life in that candle, but I just don't waste the effort because that water will kill you if it gets too far above your head. And I didn't want to use up, you know, 8 jewels out of my sub weapons for launching this weapon to get it either. So the more jewels you have for the bosses of stages, especially if you have the powered up fire version, you shouldn't have any trouble as long as you have most of your health. The bosses are tough, but if you got enough opportunities to throw this weapon at any boss, your chances are pretty good. There's a bunch of little sub-bosses here on this little area here that are pretty easy once you figure out the pattern. This guy here, you just keep going back and forth before the water consumes you. He's easy. The next couple are a little more difficult, but they're manageable. See, that works great against those guys. Except for that one time. Yeah, see, none of these guys are, as long as you know where to go, none of them are terribly difficult. And then there's one more. And he's not too bad, just stick and move. That's about all you're going to have time for is two. Maybe the only way that's going to work well is if they're right in front of me and maybe not the backwards motion. Yeah, we're not getting that. This axe is very valuable to this boss. It works very well against the stage boss here. There's a Castlevania fan page that I follow on Facebook, and they brought up a question about which, common character or enemy in Castlevania was the most annoying. And most people's response to this question, anybody who's played these games even a little bit, that recall playing them, a lot of them are going to tell you this Medusa head is the worst. I think maybe the second worst for me. The first worst has always been the ones who probably killed me more than Medusa heads, and that's the ravens or the crows. Because when they fly at you, they dart at you, and they dart at you, kind of randomly. It's not necessarily directly at you. Sometimes they can do a weird arc where, they fly right up above you or maybe right below you. And that randomness is what's killed me more than the Medusa heads, because they always, more or less, follow the same sine wave, same angle. So once you know where their peak and their valley is, you kind of know, or at least you should be able to position yourself to, be okay against those guys. But the ravens, however, they're rough, especially in Castlevania 3. I really hated them in that damn game. These guys here, they're kind of annoying too. But only in this game are they annoying. You don't have to hit them very many times, but it's not always consistent. Their hitbox is not perfect like, it probably should be for this kind of game. And I've been playing this game for 20 some odd years, and that's about 2 weeks ago is the first time I found that wall pork chop there. Which is good, because this part used to give me a little bit of trouble, because if you can imagine going through all those mini bosses and then having to go through the rest of the stage and the boss too, it's tough. That's a tough thing to do without that wall meat back there. Ooh, that was almost death. Wow. I think that's about as well as I've ever played this section, to be honest, because usually I get up in here and I have about half my life left, and the boss isn't terribly hard. The boss is manageable. Alright, so the best thing you can do with these guys, try to get them all on the one side here, and just run up against the wall. We'll do that, and then you just do this and get rid of them. There we go. It opens up all your candles and stuff, but if you've saved like I have, then I've got 88 and counting right now, so I'm going to be okay against this guy. Another boss where, as you're damaging him, you're also changing his appearance. And again, a cool aspect that I really enjoyed about this this game that you don't really hear a whole lot about. I guess it's not that big of a deal, but it's always been pretty cool to me. As you can see, the more you wreck the center section of him, he just slowly and surely comes down. But this special weapon, oh, there it went. This sub-weapon works really well against him, though. Yeah, see, that wasn't too hard. The bosses are good if you've got enough sub-weapon energy. If you've got enough of those, you should be okay. Some of the later bosses you need to recognize patterns, but early on though, they're not too bad. Tower of Pizza. Yeah, those harpies are pretty tough. They're annoying. Sometimes it takes a little while before they'll get within range of you to hit them, and seem like they're pretty random too. They'll dart at you, and sometimes you just cannot get out of the way. You just about got me. Yeah, we don't need you. There's times when you can hit these guys a certain way, and it'll knock your spear off like it did that one. And then sometimes it'll knock their head off, and all they're doing is flying around with blood spurting out of their neck, which is also a pretty cool little scene, you know, for back then when this game came out, you know, when Mortal Kombat was just becoming a big thing. I don't know what makes it do that sometimes, because it's maybe 1 out of 10 that it does it for me. But it's a pretty cool little special effect that they do on this game. Yeah. Maybe I can catch one up these stairs. This is a pretty tough area here. During that discussion, that eyeball character never came up, and he can be a pain in the butt sometimes too, as far as most annoying character. Or most annoying enemy, I should say. And I like the decapitate point. Oh, I didn't want to go there. I'm trying to actually aim for their damn head, but that's not an easy thing to do. They kind of jerk around quite a bit. Damn. Messing around with those dang harpies is costing me a lot of health. Made him a sub-boss character, but he's not terribly hard. Always enjoyed this sequence of the game as a kid too, the tower kind of leaning back and forth. You know, it really wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if Konami, you know, went on this remaster kick like a lot of these companies have been with some of their games. And, you know, maybe put some polish on this one, because this one had so much unique stuff to it compared to all the others. I think it's a fairly underrated Castlevania entry in the series. But honestly, even if Konami didn't make a remaster of this, I wouldn't mind a new Castlevania, you know, with the linear stages, 2D. You know, you get weapon power-ups, you use sub-weapons that use up hearts. You know, stuff like that. Collecting the red orb every time you beat a boss at the end of the stage. You know, those kind of things. I miss that. I wouldn't mind having a new one of those. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is by far the closest thing to that we've gotten in a long time. And it looks like Dookie is taking notice of the camera and wants to say hello. Which, honestly, she's probably more appealing to the eyeball than watching me, but it's all good. This little sequence right here I always thought was pretty cool too, because you're kind of, I guess the idea here is these pillars kind of go around that tower there, and you're kind of going around it. Which this part isn't too hard, although every one of those guys that you kill, they all leave you something, and you want to keep the sub weapon you have, or at least the axe against this boss you're about to come up against, because this is the close to the last sequence before you go fight the boss here, and you definitely don't want damn holy water. All right, so this is the last part of this where it starts going back this way. I don't mind using some of my sub weapons. I've got 78 count, so I'm okay right on that. I do, however, wish I had just a little bit more health. That can fly by me. That's cool. Although if you go in there with 78 axes, you're probably still going to be in good shape, because this is a boss that fights in the air. So. Alright, single candle, we know that's a sub-weapon, so I'm just going to leave that there. But it's unfortunate that there's not more health in there. Alright, here we go. Big bat. Awesome. Well, thankfully, like I said, if you've got a lot of sub-weapon energy, these bosses, they're manageable, especially the early ones. Now this guy here, he can still, you know, knock you over the edge, which this is not the biggest platform to be fighting on. And when you've got throwback, you know, like Castlevania, you know, you want to try to stay as center as you can most times, unless you just completely know his pattern, which after a little bit you can pick up on that and figure out his pattern. But it's best to stay in the center. If you got plenty of sub weapons, and just waylay on him. That's going to be your best option. Alright, on to stage 4, and this to me is when the difficulty kind of ramps up pretty hard, and it's not guaranteed that I'll make it through it necessarily. But I'm going to keep going for a little while longer. It's been a hard day working in the grocery store with all this virus business going on. It really taxes your body trying to, all the extra effort you have to put towards staying safe and keeping everybody else safe too. You know, it's tough, and you want everybody else to be the same way, but you can't be mad at them for not being that way. They're not going through the same stuff you're going through, so it's easy to get mad at folks, but you know, sometimes you kind of have to think about where they're coming from too. And there's something back this way. I don't know if I can get it with this guy though. I might can get it. No. There's something over that way. I think it's an extra life, and maybe you have to have John to get it. I mean, he can do a swing maneuver. Let me just try it one more time. He can do a swing maneuver. Yeah, that's not happening. But yeah, he can do a swing maneuver with his whip, you know, on the ceiling. So maybe that's what you gotta have to get up there, but it's not that important. More wall pork chops. If Dracula doesn't kill the Belmont clan, high blood pressure will. With all the wall pork chops to eat. I think it's kind of funny that they used that in the first game's instruction manual as the meat that's hidden in the wall is a wall pork chop. How many people have honestly got done eating a damn pork chop and just felt fully energized? Never. The only thing I would probably do is sweat. Oh no, terrible. The only thing I would probably do is sweat and just feel horrible about it. Alright, that rare misstep this early in the game, but you can recover from it though. Oh great, holy water. I'm in great shape now. Sometimes that gives you your flame weapon. Sometimes not always meat, but I guess because I've already got the meat, there's nothing there this time, so moving on. Thanks, cuz. I appreciate that, man. Other than my gap just a second ago. Trying to jump on the edge of the ledge and not get, you know, smacked by this the base and wound up falling off the edge. I honestly think that's the first time I've ever died in that one spot. You know, most situations I can get through pretty well, but you know, it don't take but a second on this game to, you know, you're dead and just about there. I almost fell off right there. Damn conveyor belts. Oh, here we are, back at this. And I almost did it again. I almost did it again. The heroes of this game, their horizontal jump is also very weak. Vertical's not great either, but oh, wow. I'm telling you, just one slight mistake, and there you go. Gotta take my time this time. I'm just gonna stay right there, and we're gonna get through it. I don't know if you can hear this, but my pup in the background is losing her mind. The Medusas in this game, their sine wave motion is a lot more vertical than the rest of them. I mean, they swoop very high and very low. They definitely cannot be underestimated in this game here, especially in this sequence here. Ah, screw you, holy water. Ooh, wow, the knockback went in my favor that time. This is another sequence of this game where you should definitely pay attention to your health, because the boss fight here, there's not, I don't remember there being health anywhere that you can get, you know, for a while until you get to the boss. And he does require, you know, a few knocks to the head to kill him. Or, well, not really to the head, I guess it'd be more to the chest, but he takes a licking. And more times than not, you're not gonna get there with all your health. There's a lot of stuff that happens that can keep you from doing that. Like this guy here. Oh sh. Damn. Let's see. Going to be close. Ooh! Wow. This stage is kind of putting it on me tonight. Gots to do better. This time I'm getting all the candles because I don't have a whole lot of weapon ammunition for anything. They don't start you out in this game with 5 when you start back up. They start you back out with 0. But it doesn't matter anyway because I don't have a sub-weapon for crying out loud. Maybe I should have just went that way last time. Just complete suicide mission. The old kamikaze attack, if you will. Holy water. F you, holy water. Yeah, you have to be careful right here. That blade moves kind of fast, and then this one, of course, goes the other way. And you have to be careful right here, because if you get a little too anxious and greedy, that blade will catch you. Alright, that's about as brave as I'll ever do that section. But see, here we are, and there's another sequence here where you have to go for a while without any kind of wall meat to help you out, and my health is not great. I mean, it's less than half. And I don't always run this section flawlessly. There's some tough business here. Those guys on the edge of platforms is never best either. Get in there and get to it. This one's not too bad. There we go. But it just seems like there should be some health in here somewhere, but I just don't know of any. That big crystal would have given me 5, so I hate that I missed it. It seems like there used to be... Maybe not. And some health right here would be awesome, but there's none. I make you do this mess with no extra health. And as long as you get that first guy there, these are kind of easy. They don't have big chains between their legs. And whatever that is not going to help me. I don't have a lot of health. I'm going to try though. Went right into him. Wow. Oh! Wow, that was pure dang luck. Wow. That was kind of lucky, guys. That was kind of lucky. Alright. Stage 5. Versailles Palace. Joe, I can neither confirm nor deny your question. I'd say it's likely it's a confirmation. Uh-oh. Got poison. makes you operate backwards from what your control is. So if you press left, you'll move right. And that happens if you touch that little stuff coming from that flower just falling to the ground. I guess it's wicked allergies. Those damn things there in every Castlevania game, they are a huge pain in the butt too. Maybe I should have listed that as my most annoying enemy, is that guy there, instead of the Raven. Oh, asshole. I didn't do that. Don't have many jewels at all now. I need to be careful. This level has a very difficult mid boss that used to really give me a lot of trouble, and might, considering I don't have. Could pose a problem for sure. Just about got too far up under that guy there. That shit literally almost got me. This hallway is a lot longer than I remember it being. Got there. My favorite. This game, what makes you work hard? If you were Mr. Morris, you would have went the other way. God, it's close. The route to the bottom down there to the right, that's, you can only proceed with John Morris there, the whip guy. Yeah, you're not jumping across that. Makes me wonder what I'm missing out on over here. Okay, that's good. I got my flame spear back. Getting close to the boss here. I don't have a whole lot of health, but we're gonna try to. Oh, I forgot about this sequence here. Jesus, I'm not that close to the last boss. I totally forgot about this section here. There we go. Worked out good. My dog is losing her mind again. Oh, there's the headless thing I was talking about earlier. Don't need to worry about that guy chasing me. It's here. Ooh, that was close. Another boss, great. this guy will grab you. That little thing he's doing there, he's trying to grab you. And if he does, from what I remember, it seems like he does a lot of damage with that little maneuver too. That little thing he just did where he extended his fist, that's also a grab move, I believe. He's easy to beat, as you can see, but I remember being very frustrated with him a few times because it seems like he did a lot of damage to you whenever he hit you. But once you learn them, if you can remember it, you know, it's not too hard. But I'm almost at that mid-boss, and this stage is kind of tough. Yeah, when I get real low in health, I just get kind of nervous. Sometimes I'll be either chatty Cathy or super quiet. Hello there, Celestial. Oh, there we go. It's almost over. And it's unfortunate because I have a lot of sub-weapons. Oh, yeah, this is about to be over. Oh, here we go. It's just one time I get hit and it's over. I thought I was dead. I can't believe I got him that far down. Maybe this time will be a different result, although I don't think I'll have my axes, and I definitely don't have many jewels, so we'll see. But if I can get there with a good bit of health, I think I'll be alright. I like my chances. Yeah, I agree, me too. Hey, there we go. Alright. Slow down just a little bit. This is the North American version. Go. Which one? Which one, Joey? What text? Oh, thank goodness I didn't grab that. Recharged. And this leads you right into the next stage boss. There we go. What notification platform, Jeff? I'm still not sure. I haven't looked at my phone since I started doing this. Damn it! I didn't need to do that. Okay, I'll check it here in a minute. Alright, there we go. Wet! Cookie! Why's she wet?
I'm treating her, that's why she's
Oh. You're on TV? You hear me? You're on TV? Just notice it in the top right corner?
Yeah, come on back.
Yes, this is normal. You know, honestly, I don't know that I've ever actually tried to play the hard version of this game. Or at least finish it anyways. I don't know that I've ever tried. These Medusa heads are kind of interesting. They don't come at you. They just kind of float away and fire fireballs at you. This stage is pretty wild. One of my favorite closing stages on a classic Castlevania game. Just because it throws so much different stuff at you, like this here, where the layers are kind of different, you know. So you kind of have to follow kind of where your feet are at. Just sometimes, like that jump there, just hope for the best. There we go. And again, another stage is kind of creative. Reminds me a lot of Gravity Man stage in Mega Man 5. And there wasn't a lot of this kind of stuff going on in games. Throw out my flame. I don't even mess with these candles here because this is not the easiest part to get through. So I'll just try to plow through it. And this section here it's not hard, but you have to have insane reflexes. Even though you hear it coming, it still gets up on you quick. These creatures here, these soldiers, they're weak, but they get up on you fast as you start getting down this hall. See, that one's weak, and it doesn't move at you fast. Now you hear it coming quicker. Freaking jerks, man. From the left or the right, and like I said, they get up on you so quick. That thing is pointless. Oh, here we go. Here's the fun part. Yeah, definitely trying to catch a party or something. Friggin' jerks. Alright, here we go. Another section here that's very reminiscent of classic Mega Man, where you have to go back and defeat bosses that you beat up to this point, and this is another one of them. Each card represents something. The ones with the Roman numerals above them are previous bosses. The one with the circle above it that looks like an angel throws a lot of wall pork chops at you. And then the one right there with the death on it, there's two of them, that one and that one. He'll rear back and throw a fireball at you, which is pretty easy to avoid. Yeah, it's not too tough. Once you collect all these cards and finish them, then you fight death. And pretty much from here on out, it's just boss after boss after stinking boss. And considering I have 3 lives left, I don't know that I'll get through this without getting touched a time or two. This is a good one to start with. I think I can handle him. They're not quite as strong as they were the first time through, but still the same. Still the same attack patterns. Everything's the same. I'm gonna just work him down like this for a while and save my, my jewels or crystals, or like I said, whatever the currency is called on this game. Yeah, see, he's almost dead already. There we go. Love my E-tanks. Alright, so here we go. So another card's eliminated. So all I've got left is wall chops and the two other bosses, and I've tried to save the good card for last. Yeah, it's not. It hasn't been. This the only time I've ever known it to be re-released is on this Castlevania collections that they released last year. Otherwise, if you didn't have a Sega, I think it was on the Sega Mini, if I'm not mistaken, and I have one, but it is on the Sega Mini. You were missing out. The Castlevania collection was done very well. It also has Japanese versions for a lot of these classic games that are on here. I think it has the Japanese version for all of them except for Simon's Quest. And if you were a fan of Castlevania 3, the Japanese version is, in my opinion, very superior for the music, and the difficulty is not nearly as bad. I mean, it's tough, mind you. It will kick your butt, but the difficulty is not quite as bad. It's noticeably easier on that front. But the music, the Japanese version of Castlevania 3, the music is unbelievable. Yeah, it had Kid Dracula, and that's the only one I haven't finished yet. It's a very good parody on Classicvania games, or classic Castlevania games. But it's, to me, not as fun to play as, you know, the original Castlevanias, as opposed to Kid Dracula. I've made it to like the 3rd level in that game, but it's brutal, it's tough. That is a hard game to play. And it's, to me, the wall scroll is Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Super Saiyan Trunks, Super Saiyan Goten, and Videl up there at the top. I got that when I was still in the Navy back in 2000 or 2001, so it's almost 20 years old now. Believe it, I can't believe that I've held on to it all this time. I'm not sure why they throw you 50 of these things when one or two will do the trick, but now it's time to fight death. And he's not too bad. Not the most difficult version of him, but still kind of, you have to have him in Castlevania. I mean, when do you not have a death boss? I'm pretty sure that guy will still do that scythe will still do damage to you like that. That's why I dodged it. I think it'll still hurt you. Joe, y'all like Kid Dracula on the Castlevania collection? So this next fight here, again, I'm gonna go back and collect a few jewels. You know what? No, I'm not. I don't have a whole lot of health, and I suspect that I may not make it through this fight. So I'm also expecting to, excuse me. This first part's going well. Yeah, I don't like my chances here. that could have went a lot better. And this final form of Medusa, you just have to be diligent. Those orbs touch the center. I don't know how many times I've actually seen that happen because I'm usually pretty good at finishing this boss, but it will damage you if that happens. So you hit her, you know, before those orbs hit the center, and when they get to the 6 orb sections, that when it's going pretty quick, it's a little tough. And you really want to hit her before she starts throwing out fireballs. It takes a second to dodge that. Okay, so that's the second section. So you see, it's doing damage to her health bar doing that. Okay, so here's a 5 orb section, and I think the orb, because if you can see in the center of it, it's lightning in the center, so I think it does a lightning attack on this one. So it just depends on what you can make out in the center, I believe, is what the attack is going to be. Okay, so far so good. The axe here really serves no purpose, so there's no point in wasting them. Because this is the last boss before Dracula. And irregardless, if I do beat this boss, my health is not going to be enough to get me through a Dracula fight all the way through, because there's 3 versions of him. And I'm not sure why it wasn't featured, but they put the Famicom version on there, which, like I said, it's good because I'd never played it before. So that right there, for me, was worth proof of purchase on the collection. I might make it through this, but like I said, I'm not gonna defeat Dracula with 2 lines of health. It's just not in the cards. So what's gonna happen here is once I beat her, if I beat her, I'm gonna take like a 2-minute break to use the restroom, but I won't be going long. There we go. Wow. I can't believe I did that. I honestly didn't think I had enough health. But the proof in the pudding is that this next boss, Dracula, I'm not going to be able to beat him with 2 lines of health. And there's no health regeneration here, so I'm going to do a suicide dive off the side here. Oh no, there is a section here I forgot. No, I don't need that. But I don't think there's any health here, though. I think it's only some sub-weapon energy, and then you come into the... Yeah. And again, they did this one different. You're not marching up and to the left like all the rest of the classic games. You're going up and to the right, which is cool. And the music here, oh my god, it is amazing. One of my favorite themes of the game, which is also used in, I believe, Castlevania 4, the Dracula fight, in the very first stage, but one of my favorite themes on this game. So with that being said, you've done a good job, buddy. Eric, you're coming back. Alright, so taking a quick intermission, guys. I will be right back. Okay, back guys, sorry about that. E-tank. Ready to go. This section here, like part 1 and part 3, you can go back up and down the stairs and recharge your, get some more jewels. 7 per trip. It's not great, but you do need a few jewels for this fight, and you also need to at least get your basic weapon to this length here. I'm going to play until I get about... Yeah, this chair annoys the hell out of me. I need some WD-40, you ain't lying. But you know, it's like one of those things that when you're in the store, you're not ever thinking about buying WD-40 unless you purposely just go for that. But yeah, this chair is annoying. I can't be ninja-like with a chair like this. My roommate down there at the other end of the home, he can hear me from all the way over there, getting in and out of the chair. It's so annoying. So I'm with you, and you don't have to do that. I'll remember to do it, maybe. All right, so I'm almost up to I want to get to about 50, and then I'll feel good about this. And I just kept going back up and down right there because right at the top of the stairs there's a 5 jewel increase that you can get. So is that still going to be a thing in September? That would be awesome if it was. That'd be cool. Alright, so I'm over 50, so I'm going for it now. Sometimes I would stay back and keep hitting candles until I got my flame spear, but this Dracula fight, you can lose that pretty quick, so really no point. But here goes. Hopefully I can get this done. It's been a while. Not the best way to start. Alright, this technique's not working. Okay, that was good. Okay, so maybe that's the technique. Just pop him in the face before he can have a chance to launch hellfire on you. Oh, he got it on me anyway. Ugh. Alright, let's see what I gotta do. I remember the technique now. You almost got me that time too. And this version with the axe, from what I remember, is quite a bit easier. And the last version of Dracula didn't seem terribly horrible either. It seemed like it was easily managed. Butthole. Get off of me. Cutting it close again. Not a terrible amount of health, but maybe I can do it. That was close. Oh, here we go, this section here. I can do this, y'all. Nice. Hey! Hey, how about that? awesome sauce. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Definitely some room to improve, but beating it at a smidge over an hour, I'm not terribly upset with that, considering I died a few times. I wonder what I could put together with a no-death run. 'Cause I died 3 or 4 times at least, and 3 times in that damn stage 4. That clock tower stage kicked my butt a few times, but yeah, I feel like I kind of handled that pretty well. And then that suicide at the, right before I go up the stairs to Dracula for the first time, because I only had 2 bars of health. So yeah, there's some stretches in this game where there's some health is definitely needed, where you go long stretches of time without getting any health, but it wouldn't be Castlevania without a challenge though, right? Well, cats, I definitely appreciate you guys watching me, and chances are, since I've got this new camera, maybe back on tomorrow. Aaron, yeah, absolutely. Before I got the camera, like probably the first 3 or 4 chapters I've got on YouTube. But that was before I got this camera, which I really like this camera, and I watched my first video from earlier today, and I kind of dug it even more. And the fact that I even have 5 people watching me right now, which is like 3 times more than what I normally have. So I like the camera; it's a cool thing. So yeah, most definitely, I probably will. I wonder, when I played today, I started back up from where I left off last night, which was at the scene right after you deal with the Don Corneo, situation with all the crazy stuff that goes on. And when I started the day, it started me off where I fell off into the sewer and had to fight that crazy beast that's common in some of the other Final Fantasy games. But once I got the boss halfway defeated, when he started changing his sequence and started doing those crazy moves on me, I didn't last very long. Like, there was a maneuver that he did that took out my entire party with 1 shot, and I don't know. I keep my eye on my health. I don't like it getting below 50%. At that point, I'm starting to throw heals and potions when I can. So I got to go back into it with Cloud equipped with the Ifrit summon instead of Shiva, because that didn't work well at all. So I don't know whether I should start it back at the beginning again, or maybe try it from where I'm at. Because like I said, where I'm at right now, I got my butt kicked pretty quick. I hung in there with that dude for about 30 minutes, it seemed like, and once he unleashed that attack on me and completely killed my party, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to go back into this and change my my setup, because my current setup is not good for me to get through that boss. I don't think. I mean, it's not impossible, I don't believe, but it was freaking tough. But anyways, you guys, I'm gonna jump off of here for a little while. I've been watching Ozark, and I'm about 5 episodes before I'm caught up completely, so I think maybe the rest of the night that might be what I do. But if I get bored, I may jump back on here later and play something else. I started Mega Man 4 as my first video, and I didn't go all the way through it. I just played about 10 to 15 minutes just to kind of see how it worked, and I dug it. So I'm gonna definitely do this some more and just kind of see how it goes. And anyways, but appreciate you guys watching. Y'all stay safe, and hopefully I'll get to see you guys sooner than later. Y'all take care. Have a great night.